You know, for as long as we've been able to look up at the stars, we've asked this one huge question. Are we alone? It's maybe the biggest mystery out there. Today, we're going to dive into how scientists are trying to solve it. And you might be surprised to hear that the best clues, they're showing up in some really unexpected places.
So, when you think about it, where's the best place to even start looking for alien life? Right? I mean, your mind probably jumps to planets orbiting some distant star, light years away. We're looking for another Earth, somewhere out there in the galaxy. That makes sense.
But, and this is the crazy part, what if I told you the most exciting, the most promising targets in this hunt aren't out there in deep space? What if they're right here, in our own cosmic backyard, orbiting the giant planets of our solar system?
And that brings us to this amazing concept, ocean worlds. Okay, so picture this. Moons, covered in these super thick shells of ice. But underneath all that ice, they're hiding massive, globe-spanning oceans of liquid water. And we all know the rule, right? Where there's water, there's a chance for life.
So, okay, the hunt for ocean worlds. Why are we so focused on these frozen moons all of a sudden? Well, the story behind this whole shift actually starts not in space, but deep, deep down in our very own oceans here on Earth.
Yeah, check out this quote from planetary scientist Alexander Hayes. It just nails a discovery that completely flipped our understanding of life on its head. He said, "Life was found literally running off the energy provided by chemical reactions between rock and ocean water." I mean, think about that. It proved that the basic recipe for life was way simpler than we ever thought.
And this is what he's talking about, hydrothermal vents. Specifically, this incredible place called the Lost City, found way down in the Atlantic back in 2000. Now, this wasn't some fiery volcanic vent. No, its heat came just from chemical reactions between seawater and rock. And the wild part? It was absolutely swarming with microbes. This was the proof. For the very first time, we saw that you don't need sunlight to have a whole ecosystem. Nope, all you need is water, rock, and a little bit of chemistry.
And that, right there, leads to the billion-dollar question that's driving all of this science. I mean, if life can thrive in the cold, pitch-black depths of our own oceans, could that exact same thing be happening right now, miles under the ice of an alien moon? Okay, let's meet our prime suspects.
All right, first up we have suspect number 1, Enceladus. It's one of Saturn's smaller moons. And, from a distance it just looks like a quiet, frozen snowball. But it is hiding a very dramatic secret. So back in 2005, NASA's Cassini spacecraft was cruising by and it saw this. Whoa! Huge geysers, over 100 of them, just blasting a plume of ice, water vapor, and organic stuff straight out into space. This tiny little moon was literally erupting its hidden ocean for all to see. It was an absolute game changer.
And get this, Cassini actually flew through those plumes and took samples. And what it found was this incredible chemical cocktail. I mean, just look at this list. You got things like hydrogen cyanide, which is a key building block for amino acids for life. It found molecular hydrogen, that's basically food for the kind of microbes we see at Lost City. The point is, all the ingredients for life as we know it are just erupting right out of this moon's ocean.
You don't have to take my word for it. The scientists who published these findings in 2023, they concluded that Enceladus has, and I'm quoting here, a rich, chemically diverse environment that could support complex organic synthesis and the origin of life. I mean, come on, it has everything it needs. Okay, let's move on to our second suspect, Saturn's biggest moon, Titan. And this place is one of the strangest, most fascinating worlds in the whole solar system.
At first glance, Titan seems weirdly familiar, like Earth. It's got a thick atmosphere, it's got clouds, rivers, lakes, even seas. But when you look closer at this comparison, you realize everything is completely alien. The liquid on the surface, it's not water, it's liquid methane. The dunes, they're not sand, they're made of solid hydrocarbons, kind of like little bits of plastic. It literally rains gasoline from the sky. It's like a bizarre mirror image of our own planet.
And this is what makes Titan so incredible. We're pretty sure it has a liquid water ocean way down deep beneath its surface, so you could have life as we know it there. But then, on the surface, in those crazy methane seas, could a totally different kind of life exist? Life as we don't know it? I mean, Titan gives us 2 shots at finding life for the price of 1 mission. It's amazing.
All right, our final suspect orbits the king of the planets, Jupiter. Everybody, meet Europa. It's a moon with this smooth, icy surface that's hiding what could be the single largest ocean in our entire solar system.
And just get a load of this number. The best models we have suggest that Europa's hidden ocean has up to 3 times more liquid water than all of Earth's oceans combined. Just let that sink in for a second. 3 times all of our water.
And we have some really solid evidence for this. For one, Europa's magnetic field wobbles, which is exactly what you'd expect if there's a big, salty, conductive ocean sloshing around inside. Then, you look at the surface, it's covered in these cracks and fractures. That's from being constantly squeezed and stretched by Jupiter's insane gravity. Now, this constant gravitational tug-of-war, it creates heat. And that heat could be powering those same kinds of life-giving hydrothermal vents on its seafloor, just like on Earth.
So, there you have it, our 3 prime suspects. The next logical step, we gotta send in the detectives. And the interplanetary machines we're sending to investigate these worlds, they are absolutely incredible.
Okay, meet Dragonfly. And no, this is not science fiction. This is a real NASA mission, and it's headed for Titan. We are literally sending a car-sized, nuclear-powered drone to fly around and land on the surface of an alien world. How cool is that?
So how is this thing going to hunt for clues? Well, remember, the surface of Titan is freezing, like 94 Kelvin. So first, a little drill called Draco grabs a frozen sample. Then, and this is clever, it gets pneumatically blasted into a special cold zone on the lander so it doesn't melt or change. Finally, this really cool device called the Wonderwall slides a sample into the warm interior where a mass spectrometer can analyze it, basically sniffing out its chemical makeup, looking for those precious building blocks of life.
And for Europa, we've got the Europa Clipper. Now, this one isn't going to land, but what it is going to do is perform dozens of super close flybys. It's going to map the entire moon in mind-blowing detail, study that ice shell, and confirm what's going on in that ocean, all while looking for the perfect spot to maybe send a lander in the future.
So you've got Enceladus, Titan, and Europa. As we get ready to explore these amazing places, it kind of sparks the imagination. It makes you wonder, just for fun, what would it actually be like to live on a planet that had 3 moons like these hanging in the sky?
Well, for one thing, the ocean tides would be completely chaotic. All that gravitational pulling and pushing would probably mean more earthquakes and volcanoes too. And culturally, you can bet there'd be some really complex calendars and mythologies built around 3 different lunar cycles. Oh, and here's a fun fact. With smaller moons like these, you wouldn't get our amazing total solar eclipses. You just get solar transits, where they look like little dots crossing the sun. It's a fun thing to think about, right? But the reality of the science is even more exciting.
So let's bring it back to that reality. The hunt is officially on. The missions are being built. And as Alexander Hayes says, we are living in some truly extraordinary times. This isn't just a fantasy anymore. The possibility is real. Within our own lifetimes, we might actually see evidence of a second, completely separate genesis of life right here in our own solar system. And wow, what a discovery that would be!